How you doing, everyone? This is Ryan Jenkinson from Reverend And The Makers and the Roland V-Drums demo team. Welcome to my series of videos getting hands-on with this guy, the SPD-SX sampling pad. The first topic we're going to cover is click tracks and backing tracks. Thanks a lot for watching, and I hope this helps. How you doing? Ryan from Roland again with part 3 of our video on the SPD-SX and click tracks and backing tracks. If you saw the first two, you'll know we've created a click track, we've created a backing track using the digital audio workstation. We've then in the second video assigned them to the foot switch 1 and foot switch 2 parts of the SPD-SX using the Wave Manager software. So now in this video, we're ready to start thinking about changing a few settings and stomping on our foot switch to get our backing tracks to work. The first thing we're going to need to do then is just check that the WAVs have actually assigned to foot switch 1 and foot switch 2. So press menu and pad and then scroll all the way along through the pads, through the triggers until you get to foot switch 1 and foot switch 2. And you'll see there that it says wave, baseline click and baseline ND. So that's the track. So they have transferred as planned. The first setting we're going to need to change then is about how the SPD-SX behaves when you stomp on the foot switch. So what we'll need to do is click menu and pad again. Scroll all the way along with the right arrow until you get to foot switch 1. Check that the volume's at 100, pan center. You can pan hard left and hard right if you want to split the stereos into 2 independent monos. That's another trick if you need it. Mute group, we need that off. Tempo sync off. We'll talk about mute groups in another video, but tempo sync is something you definitely want off because we've already done the syncing in Ableton. Now, click along to the second tab, which is mode, and you'll see that the template is set to single. That's for one-shot samples, so if we had a hand clap or a kick drum assigned to the foot switch, I could step on it 4 times and get 4 kick drums. When dealing with backing tracks, they're longer wave files, so we definitely want that off, because 4 backing tracks all going at the same time would sound a mess. So we need that template changing to phrase, which will automatically change the trigger type from shot to alternate. We need alternate because that essentially means you press it once to start and once to stop. It's also turned the dynamics off. This is important because if it was assigned to a pad and you hit the pad softly, then it would play back the track quieter, which is not what we want. So by turning dynamics off, simply by hitting the pad, or in our case, stomping on the foot switch, we're going to get the backing track triggered at the exact volume. And just repeat exactly the same process for foot switch 2. So the template needs to go from single to phrase. So that's the trigger settings changed. So the second thing on our checklist is to set up a pad link. What this will do is mean that foot switch 1, when activated, also triggers foot switch 2 at the exact same time. That'll mean the click and the track set off together. So how do we do that? Well, it's pretty simple. We click on menu and kit. Now, people seem to think that the pad link's in settings. It's not. It's in kit because each kit can have a different pad link. So that's the best way to remember it. So by clicking kit, it's on the first tab, which is common, and you'll see the pad link is the third one down. It's blank at the minute, but by moving all the way along, I can change that foot switch 1 and then adjacent to that foot switch 2. That will link those 2 pads. So by stomping on one, we automatically start the other. So we've got our backing tracks on the SPD-SX and we've changed a few settings to make sure that they'll play out correctly. There's one last thing to do, and that's the routing for the click track and the backing track. So what we'll do is we'll cover that in video for the final part. But thanks for sticking around for part 3, and I'll see you next time.
On a Monday spent craving for Friday's highs, we just rattle around, stuck up in a 9 to 5.